Hey guys, I'm back for a few Q&A questions. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Hunter King, and I'm female to male transgender. I'm middle-aged, and I started hormones 13 months ago. Almost 13 months. I've got a week to go, and it'll be exactly 13 months since I've been on hormones, and I've still got a long ways to go. I know a lot of people think, well, you've been on hormones a year, you're complete now, your transition's complete. No, 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 still got a lot of changes to go. Uh, so, anyway, the main questions that I get asked is, why did I wait so late in life to transition? And I had to think about that. I mean, because I don't think there's any real one reason. There's a few factors that go into it. Um, I One of the main reasons is I didn't find it to be available. I looked into transitioning in the year 2006, and I hit a brick wall. Um, I found out that the medications wouldn't be available to me through my insurance, not as of yet. I also found out that I couldn't get any surgeries. So as far as I felt inside male, yes, I felt male inside. Uh, but what did I want to do about that? I did want to transition, but without the money, I couldn't do it. So I just stayed living my life as a female. So that's exactly what happened in 2006. But before that, um, I didn't even know that I could. I didn't know I could transition. I've only seen male to females, and I didn't even see them transitioning. They were literally called drag queens, which they still do have drag queens back in the day. Um, but no one ever called them transsexuals or transgenders. They called them drag queens, guys walking around in women's clothing. That's what how we perceive them, and that's how they perceive themselves. Unless it was your occasional person that would say, no, I really feel female, and that's who I am. I didn't even run into anybody like that. I did run into a lot of people. I lived in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of um, trans transgender people there now. But if it's not available to you, it's not available, and you just do what you can. Um, like I've said before, I have gone out and drag a few times, uh, and I passed. But that wasn't the same as taking hormones and changing my name. Also, I was in law enforcement, and that was just something you didn't do in law enforcement. Back in the 80s and 90s, I didn't even bring it up. I don't even think they would have accepted me if I told them that I was going to change my gender. Even, like, let's say that it was available. Like I said, I don't think so. When I looked into it, my insurance didn't pay for it, even in 2006. So, yeah, you guys are very, very fortunate now that you have there's more opportunities to be able to transgender now and take your hormones, whether it's male to female, female to male. I did know one person who was male to female, and she told me she had these were the laws in America that she had to live her life 3 years as a female before she was even able to take female hormones. They weren't available to her. She had to live her life as a female 3 years without any hormones, any surgeries, and that's what she did. She lived her life for 3 years, Then she had to go back and see a psychiatrist and be evaluated by the psychiatrist, and eventually a psychiatrist approved her for female hormones. Now, whether that would have happened to me if I wanted to transition then, I'm assuming it would have. I'm assuming that they would have told me the same thing, that I would have had to live my life, not as a female, because I was already living my life as a female, but they would have told me, I'm presuming they would have told me that I would have had to live my life 3 years as a male, change my name, my identity, and then go back see a psychiatrist until I was approved for male hormones, which I didn't do any of that because even then my insurance wouldn't pay for it. So I didn't do it. I had a lot going on. I had other different reasons why I didn't. But I do believe, when I look back, that if it were available to me, even as a child, I'm not saying children should take hormones, I'm not saying that at all, but hypothetically speaking, if I found out that I could change my identity to male, even as a child, I believe I would have begged my mother to be able to do so, because I was already begging her for male clothing and telling her that I knew as a female, but I would like, that I thought I was a boy, or like to be a boy. I mean, I was pretty much aware that I was a female, but I didn't feel like a female, so I wanted to do everything boy. Um, when I would go out and play, I wanted to do all boy stuff. I didn't want to do anything girl. I couldn't even stand being a girl. So there's a sign there that I was transgender then. If I didn't, I couldn't even kindergarten. I remember I have a story from kindergarten, which is a long, long time ago. Um, remember the teacher telling us kids that, okay, so there's two sections split up for playtime. On one side of the room was for the boys, and the other side of the room was for the girls. And the girls weren't allowed to play in the boys section, and the boys were not allowed to play in the girls section. True story. But that's not the way it is now, but that's the way it was back then. And so she said, okay, go for it. There's on the boys section you got blocks, and you got toy cars. I don't know, well, army men. And on the girls section, you have dolls to play with, and there was a little kitchen. I remember there's a little kitchen. You could play house in the kitchen and pretend that you were a housewife, and you were doing the dishes. And I just thought, wow, I could. I remember even thinking back then, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play a female role. Well, I'm just a little kid. I knew I was a girl, but I didn't want to do the girl stuff. I didn't want to play in the girl section. So as soon as she said, okay, recess, get to it, I ran straight to the boy section. And I started building the blocks. I grabbed the building blocks, and I remember like just thinking, I'm just going to build me something with the building blocks. Even though she just said we weren't allowed to do any of that. And then a kid next to me started complaining, said, hey, you, he was saying, you're in the wrong section. You can't be playing with the blocks. I don't remember what I said, but I told him off. I remember telling him off saying, uh, shut up. I can't remember what I said. Just like, leave me alone. I'm playing with the blocks anyway. Like, trying to ignore the kid, and he was just being a real smart ass. Saying, hey, what's she doing here in the boys section? And then he was making a fuss, and I made a fuss back, enough to where the teacher, okay, everybody stop what you're doing. Um, I remember the next day, the teacher had an announcement to make, and she said because I had gone into the boys section and played with the blocks, that she had changed her mind about what she had said about the rules. And she said, so I think everybody can play where they want to. So she said, okay, girls, if you want to play in the boys section, you can play in the boys section. And same for the boys. She said, you kids, you boys could go play in the girls section. and she did give me the credit for that, that I had changed her mind just by running over and demanding to play in the boys section. So that was great, and the kids did it too. I remember seeing the girls running to the a few girls running to the boys section playing with the blocks, and I saw a lot of boys running into the girls section. More boys were running into the girls section, which was kind of funny to me. And they were acting like they were doing the dishes and and in aprons, and it was funny. It was a little funny to me. I thought, oh, this is great, and kind of let it go. You're a kid, you're just gonna let it go with that. Then she called my parents and told them she was great. She was such a great teacher. She didn't scold me and tell me what I was doing was wrong. She told my parents that she thought that was an exceptional thing that I did, and it had really changed her view on children. And I really liked her for that. And thinking back, she was a great teacher. So there you go. I didn't really want to play. Does that make me transgender? No, that's just a whole part of the puzzle. I mean, there's pieces that fit together as I go along in my life and look back at my life. It's not just one thing only uh, that makes me realize that I'm transgender. There was lots of things, starting from my childhood, um, not wanting to do anything girlish at all. I mean, I did have friends that were females, and I played with them just because I thought I had to play with them. And I also, after that, after I played with my female friends, I started playing with male friends football, and we played tackle football. I love tackle football, so I was on a boys team, and I loved playing football tackle. I hated touch. I didn't think it was rough enough. Uh, I had to play tackle football. So that's sports. So you can say, well, you can say you played sports and you played tackle football. That doesn't make you transgender. It's really how you feel inside. And so then I go on into my teenage years. And did I feel like a boy then? Yeah, I did. Everything I did, almost everything I did, I wanted to be a boy. Um, did I feel depressed about it? I can't remember feeling depressed about it or sad about it. I just knew it was a fact that I was a girl. Um, I don't really think I fit in with the girls that much. I went out. I remember the first time I went out in drag. I call it drag because I would paint my face or put on a fake beard, and dress like a guy, and then run around town. I did that a couple times, and that was always a lot of fun. But why would your average girl want to do that? I mean, I was like walking around and walking into bars and getting kicked out, and I found it very satisfactory to do that. Um, only did that a few times. Halloween, every Halloween I had to be a boy character. I was never once a female character for Halloween. I wouldn't even dare. I just couldn't stand it. Um, so yeah, every Halloween. That's when I would go into drag, and I fooled a lot of people because I thought it was funny for people to say, oh, to talk to me like I was a male and that I had a brain. Um, it was a big difference than when they talked to me as a female. I didn't get as much response from other males when males would talk to me as a female as when they saw me as a male. I thought that I was a male. There's a big difference in that. I don't know about today's society, but I know back then it was a big deal. So let's fast forward to what happened after my teenage years. Well, I got a job in law enforcement, and then I also had a band, and so I was a singer, and I had a few bands back in the '80s. So even if thinking about it now, even if they had, uh, if I was offered, somebody said, here's a doctor saying, here's your hormones, and you can become a male. I don't know if I would have said yes to that at that time because um, my voice would have been so screwed up. I wouldn't have been able to sing anymore, and then there would have gone my dreams of becoming a singer, At least having my band becoming popular, and it was becoming popular. It's not like I was a total failure at that. Um, we played with a lot of popular groups that were really popular in the late 80s, early 90s. We played with, um, so well, what popular? We played with the Go-Go's. We toured with the Go-Go's and the Bangles. Yes, those are female groups, but they were all males in my band. I was the lead singer, and I didn't look feminine at all. I did not come off as feminine uh, as a performer. The way I dressed, even the way I sang, my voice was a bit higher. That was about it. My voice was a bit higher, but no, I didn't wear skirts and jump around all frilly and feminine. And well, at Thanksgiving, whenever there was Thanksgiving, I just did not fit in at anybody's Thanksgiving dinner, anywhere. Not my own family, not my friends' families, because they always had tables for, here's your table for the girls, and the women's table, and there's the boys' table, and the men's table, and then there's the kids' table, and I had to choose where am I gonna sit because I didn't want to sit with the females. But then, as living my life as a female, that's where they put me. They'd always stick me with the females, and I could not handle any of their conversations at all. They didn't really have anything to me that was in common with me. I can remember some of their conversations, uh, fingernail polish conversations, cosmetics all the time, talking about their cosmetics, talking about baby diapers, and I hated it because I could do that. I could talk about cosmetics and you know hand lotions and baby diapers, but I didn't want to. I just felt so stupid sitting at those tables and so out of place. And you know, one time I went to the men's table, and then they were having a study about the Bible at Thanksgiving, and the men were shouting off their opinions about God and Jesus, and I thought some of them sounded really stupid. I really did. I can't remember what they were saying, but some of them I just thought, I don't know about that. I mean, so I thought I had some intelligent things to say about some Bible scriptures and what I thought about some biblical things, and it was as soon as I gave off my opinion, they just looked at me funny for a few seconds and ignored me and just went right on talking amongst each other, like my opinion didn't matter whatsoever, because they saw me as a female. I know that's exactly why I was dismissed. It pissed me off. It really did. It actually pissed me off. The feeling of, I don't know, that I was just being belittled because my opinion didn't matter as a female. Um, and I know I had some good opinions too at the time. And same thing would happen at work. There would be some guys that would listen to me, but it was very few. Most guys were just so macho, they just couldn't handle anything I had to say or do. They didn't even want me working there because I was female. There was like, I was promoted above a lot of the guys that had been there longer than me, and they couldn't handle it. And if I were a male, I know that they could have handled it, but they're saying, "Oh no, that's a girl, so we can't handle that." They're just too macho for that as well. I can't think of many things that I did that were that female, um, that I really wanted to do. But like again, I didn't know the hormones were available to me until 2006 that I really did check into it. And then I hit another brick wall, um, telling me that, your insurance won't pay for it, and it's thousands of dollars. And yeah, it can come up to thousands of dollars once you get your top surgery. That's in the thousands. And as far as my hormones, I really don't know how much I pay for them now through my insurance, but I pay a copay for my hormones and my needles. It's not a lot of money. The needles are costly with my copay. It's like $25 a month, which isn't a lot, but that's a copay with my insurance. But back then, that they wouldn't have paid for that at all. So those are some of the reasons. Also, being a singer, like I said, and then not even knowing that this was available to me was a big deal. That's probably my main thing. I, that's my main thing, and something to think about for all you guys who are singers and take it very seriously, and you don't want to ruin your voice. You can get your voice back. I've seen some people that did get their voice back, and they're pretty good. Uh, but it's really up to the individual. The individual. Um, and will I sing again? I don't know if I'm going to sing again with the COVID and everything. I'm not even trying to get back with any band buddies that I had before or any new ones. I have to wait till the COVID's over and then keep working on my voice, keep practicing, practice, practice, practice. That's what I'm going to be doing, and so yeah, those are the main things. Why did I wait so late in life? Uh, and why not? That's really my answer to your question is why not? I mean, your life's not over because you got older, and why not try to be happy the rest of your life and do what you can about it? That's what I did, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to be who I've always felt like I was inside. I'm trying to change the outsides to match the insides. Yeah, it's been a long journey, and I still got a ways to go. Uh, yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think of some other questions people have asked me. Although they've asked me about my sexuality, did that change at all? And no, no, my sexuality hasn't changed. And somebody said, well, yeah, well, but it usually does. I don't think it usually does. I don't know. Some people, of course, maybe their sexuality, they feel more comfortable uh, with who they are, so maybe they feel more comfortable with what sex they're attracted to. Now, that's how I would explain that. But no, not really. My sexuality hasn't really changed. So, you guys hit the subscribe bell, and you'll get notified next time I make a new video. I'll probably make one at the end of the month. I'm not sure about that. Um, about just doing my 13 mark of 13 months anniversary, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Hunter out.